If you clicked on this video, chances are pretty high that your ROAS has either flatlined or it's in the decline. So in this video, I'm going to break down the potential reasons why your ROAS is decreasing and what you can do about it to start scaling once again. Now, there could be a variety of different reasons that go beyond Google Ads itself as to why your ROAS might have started to decline, such as external circumstances, external factors within the economy, the actual trend of your account, whether it's seasonal or not, or if you made a change on Facebook ads or TikTok ads, or even your website, which could have caused this to happen itself. So you don't want to always just be focused on the Google Ads side of things directly. Rather, you want to approach any type of decline as a whole business overview before you go into the Google Ads side of things. But let's assume you have looked through all of those things and you really cannot pinpoint the reason behind the decline or the flatlining of the return on ad spend. The first major reason when it comes to Google Ads why your ROAS is not growing as you would like is because there were no changes made in a long time to the strategy. Now, this is one of the most common issues I see where e-commerce brands, because something is working and they don't want to go in and actually change something because it's already doing well, they often let things go by for days and weeks and sometimes even months. And before you know it, the ROAS is on a decline because this strategy, which was working maybe 2 months ago or maybe 3 months ago, it's no longer what's going to work at this point of time. And because you did not make any changes for this whole 2 month or 3 month period, what is happening now is you're going to have a much harder time actually getting the ball rolling once again, actually gaining momentum once again, because your account is not used to anything else beyond this. It doesn't know what to do beyond this level of strategy which you have implemented. And this means now anything you do, it's going to have a slower impact overall on the growth of your business. That's why I always say you want to at least be making some sort of change, whether it's optimization of products or keywords, every 14 to 21 days, because otherwise your account starts to become stale. And one of the most common reflection of this is a falling ROAS. Second issue why your ROAS may actually be falling is because there were too many changes done. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum is where you barely make any changes for days and weeks. On the other side, you're making changes way too much, maybe every few days or maybe even every day or so. And this is one of the worst things you can do for your Google Ads account, because although you're trying to approach it with the mindset that making a change every day is going to help the algorithm optimize, you're telling the algorithm much faster of what works and what doesn't. What actually you need to understand is Google is a search-based platform. It's a platform where your ideal customer, where your users come to you, and every single second of the day there's hundreds and thousands of searches getting done within your niche. So all this data is not something Google can just digest in a day and then basically optimize for the changes you make on a day-to-day basis along with it. It needs some time to understand what change you just made, how it should optimize based on that change, and how it should move forward. And when you go in and when you make too many recent changes, all you do is you end up slowing down the entire process of growth and scale for your business, and it makes it much more difficult to achieve long-term scale. The third major reason why your brand may be struggling and why your ROAS might be dying is because of a poor feed quality. Now, I always say this in all of my videos, but your product feed is the number one thing you need to get right. Beyond the perfect Google Ads strategy, beyond the perfect back-end optimization, nothing else matters when it comes to Google Ads as much as the product feed. And if your product feed quality has not been improved, maybe you didn't update it in a long time, or maybe you have new competitors entering the market with better product feeds, what's going to happen is now Google is not going to really cater much to your product feed, and as a result you're going to end up basically losing a lot of these customers to your competitors. Your product feed, the quality score of your entire ad account is going to decrease as a result, and without you really doing anything, Google's algorithm will stop pushing your ads more in the right auctions, and it will actually start putting them in the medium quality or maybe even lower quality auctions, because that's what Google labeled your brand as. So to prevent this from happening, at all times your feed quality must be up to par with Google standards. You should always ensure that there's no types of violations or product issues or disapprovals of any kind, and you're improving your product feed regularly. I mean, that's what works for the brands we work with under my agency, Euro Marketing, which, by the way, if you run a brand doing $50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google, go on to my website at euromarketing.com, schedule a completely free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen. But the next major reason why your ROAS might actually be dipping is because there's too many campaigns or too much overlap going on. One of the worst things you can do for your brand is push a lot of stuff all together hoping that it works. All this does is, number one, it confuses the algorithm. Number two, it spreads your budget too thin. So instead of having a few things getting tested properly, nothing gets tested properly because it's all over the place. And number three, this increases chances of overlap, the same keywords getting ranked for within multiple campaigns, the same product fighting for the auction within multiple different campaigns. Because what you want to understand is the Google Ads algorithm, it's a robot. It doesn't understand that the same product you have in one campaign, it's a PMAX campaign, is the same one under your same brand in a standard shopping campaign. What it will do is it will push both of these products into the same auction for a keyword. And as a result, these two products, even though it's the same product, they will compete for that keyword from these two separate campaigns. And one campaign will have a higher CPC, the other one might have a lower CPC because it's not winning auction. And it's like you're bidding against yourself, which obviously is not the right approach. So to prevent that, always ensure that the simplistic approach is what you incorporate, and simple often works better because it allows the algorithm to scale at a much greater level. But keep in mind, and this is the next thing, bigger or better competitors entering the market could also be one of the major reasons why ROAS is flatlining or decreasing. You always want to be doing competitor research with your major performing keywords. I like to look inside the inside section of my Google Ads account because those are the keywords which I know for a fact are doing well, and from there I understand what keywords we're ranking for, what keywords my competitors are ranking for, and then from there we can scale accordingly, improve our ads, or make whatever adjustments are needed based on the competition. But you have to know what your competition is doing. You cannot just fully ignore them. But again, if you run a brand doing 50,000 or more per month in revenue, you need some extra help scaling to the next level with Google, go on to my website yourmarketing.com and schedule a free call with me, and let's see how we can potentially work together and make that happen.